Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. This time we're going to change the headlight assemblies on this 2006 Toyota Sienna. Why am I doing this? Well, the van has 340,000 miles and as you can see, the headlight lenses were foggy, crazed, and yellowing. It's so bad sometimes at night you can't even tell if the headlights are on. I tried the brake cleaner trick and that did help for a while, maybe a couple months or so, but then it got bad again, and now it's time to replace them for good. Today I'm going to be installing Nilight headlights. I'll put a link to these in the video description. Alright, so let's get started. Pop the hood and we'll be removing 4 10mm bolts. To get to all of them, use a trim removal tool or a flat-bladed screwdriver to remove the 5 plastic clips from the front panel. We don't need to remove it entirely, we just want it loose enough so that we can get behind it. We also don't need to remove the bumper entirely, we just need access to the bottom headlight assembly bolt. Next, we'll go down by the wheel well and remove the 2 plastic clips. Ideally, you'll put the trim removal tool underneath it and twist it with a screwdriver counterclockwise while pulling it out. I managed to break them both off. Next, pry the plastic clip away from the bumper. There's also a 10mm bolt on the bottom that you can remove as well if you need a little more room. However, I did not find this necessary. With those clips removed, pull back the bumper firmly to release it. It takes a bit of effort. So this is the bolt that we'll need to get at. Now, get your 10mm socket and remove the top bolt, the inner bolt, the lower bolt, and finally the outer bolt. Note that the outer bolt has finer threads than the others. Okay, so now the headlight assembly should be free. You can wiggle it loose. Note that some of these are on small posts. You might need to pry them up a little bit. Now we'll take a look at the back. There are 4 bulbs that we need to remove. Twist each one counterclockwise about 1/4 of a turn and pull them out. I'm going to try to set them carefully on a clean rag so they don't break or get greasy. This one was an LED bulb I replaced a while back. Once you've got all the bulbs out, the headlight assembly is now free of the car, so remove it. Alright, so here are the new headlights. So we can remove the protective film. Wow, you kind of get acclimated to how bad they were. Alright, so I'm going to put on the clean white gloves and set the new assembly in place. Next, let's plug in these lights. And I'm going to put a clean rag here to protect the lens. So remove the protective dust sticker and place the bulbs in and rotate clockwise this time to get them to stay in. Note that you have to align the tabs, and one of the tabs is slightly bigger, so make sure that goes into the slightly larger tab opening. So once all of the bulbs are installed, we can fit the headlight into place. It seems like it works best to get the front in first, then maneuver the back end in. Now, the plastic tabs, you'll want to work around so that they snap onto the holes. And also the forward one. So now we can reinstall the 4 10mm bolts. Recall that the bolt with the fine threads goes into the outer position under the bumper. Alright, so the driver's side headlight is now installed. Looks a lot better. For the bumper, firmly press it back into place. Pull the plastic tabs in the wheel well back over the bumper and reinstall the plastic clips. Or if they broke, install new ones. Now let's move to the passenger's side. This is going to be the same procedure. Let's move to the wheel well and remove the plastic clips. Then, pry them away from the bumper. Give the bumper a firm tug to pull it loose. This is the fine threaded bolt that we'll be removing on this side. Once again, use the 10mm socket to remove it. Then remove the 3 remaining bolts on the headlight. Wiggle the headlight loose. Remove the 4 bulbs by twisting counterclockwise, then remove the old headlight. By the way, as long as I have it out, I want to show you the headlight angle adjustment. This is so that you aren't blasting incoming drivers right in the face with your bright lights. I'll go through this final adjustment at the end, but while it's out of the car, you'll use a 10mm socket to turn this adjuster here. Note that you can also use a Phillips screwdriver if you so desire by inserting it into the top. I prefer the 10mm socket. So watch the center part of the 2 headlight bulbs as I turn this adjuster. Note that they both move simultaneously, so there's only one adjustment. Okay, so install the new headlight and plug in the 4 bulbs, just like before. Now, feed the front part in first, then work on the outer and rear parts. Note, if it's hard to get the plastic tabs over their posts, check that the outer bolt isn't caught on the frame. I did that the first time and couldn't get the tab over the post. Once I got that into the right position, it snapped into place. Next, reinstall the 4 10mm bolts. Press the bumper back into place. Reinstall the wheel well clips and plastic screws. Back under the hood, press the 5 plastic connectors back on. Alright, so the new headlights are installed. They look 1,000 times better. To perform the headlight alignment, park the car on a flat surface with the headlights pointing at a wall 25 feet away. So here, once again, just for demonstration purposes, I'm putting the 10mm socket onto the adjuster and turning it clockwise to bring the headlight down. Counterclockwise brings it back up. Measure the distance from the ground to the axis of the low beam headlight. There's a small circle on the lens showing you exactly where that is. We are at 35 inches. Then, on the wall, we'll put a piece of tape at 35 inches. We want the top of the headlight to be 2 inches below that. So, we'll measure down 2 inches and put another piece of tape. Okay, so now we want the top of the headlight projected beam to be at the top of this bottom piece of tape. Let's cover the beam we're not working with at the moment. Alright, so put the 10mm socket onto the adjuster and turn it. Here's counterclockwise, and that's bringing the beam up, so I'll switch to clockwise to bring the beam down. Right about there, that's close to perfect. Now, repeat that for the driver's side, and that should do it for the alignment. Here's the before and after. Alright, so that looks a lot better. Thanks for watching Practical Mechanic, and I hope you found this helpful. Until next time, all the best.